something else, but that was $6 alone, and I'm like, man, I only got three things.
It looks like
It
it
was
looks
some
like we're
stupid
live.
barbecue sauce. No, it was because it was like, I was hollering about wanting barbecue chicken all day, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna just. I bought some chicken from Safeway the other day, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna douse it in barbecue sauce, and I had like one drop of barbecue sauce left, so I'm like, well, now I got to go spend this $6 for barbecue sauce, and that's ridiculous. It wasn't even on
Oh,
sale.
wow, $6. Wow. Well, it
Well,
looks
not
like
for the
you know what.
barbecue sauce alone. The barbecue sauce alone was like, I think like $3. But I'm like, $3 for barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Man,
Now they're charging like the little sauces and like
that
Chick-fil-A
was
or
79
whatever.
cents. I paid,
I'm
yeah,
sorry,
I
like
paid 79
Popeyes or
cents.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, McDonald's. You know what? I think we're live.
Mhm. Yeah, we're live right now.
I think we're accidentally. Yeah. So
Yeah, we're live.
okay.
Hmm.
I love
We've
this.
been live.
Oh, well,
Hmm.
hello everyone, and welcome to NNL 360, show hosted by me, Annette, the warm-hearted warrior diva. This show gives you insights on the journeys of high-achieving business owners and music artists, along with other artists like filmmakers, etc., who share with the audience the importance of building a community of like-minded individuals on the road to greater success. Today's show is a collaboration between Endino 360 and Mr. Exzavier Whitley. Today, we will be discussing NNO 360's Chronicles of Exzavier Whitley. And just to recap, for those that don't know, Mr. Exzavier Whitley is the CEO of One Throne Productions LLC and an R&B American singer, songwriter, composer, musician, chef. I mean, you name it. He grew up in Denver,
I'm
Colorado.
surprised you threw chef in there.
I
Like,
mean, he does it all. Everybody. I mean, what can we say about Xavier? Um, recently, okay, recently, I was like, wait a minute, because you I mean, you post stuff, but you kind of like post it in silence.
yeah,
But
like
I have
honestly.
to shout you out though. I have to shout you out tonight because yeah. So everyone, he was recently debuted on the 2024 Forbes influencers. He caps 1.9 million net worth. Okay, that's nothing. I mean, that's no, like, meat. That's more than meat potatoes. Okay, that's more than this inflation thing. Um, and his net worth this year in both business and real estate investments. And I noticed that you had your photo shoot recently with multiple R&B projects that are underway. So let's dive into that first, and then we can add more questions to this because I have. So basically, the Chronicles, what we're going to talk about is kind of like recapping somewhat of our last episode of mental health, but we're going to really dive into the music industry and your experience and your journey. But yeah, so talk a little bit about the what's going on. I mean, Mr. Forbes. Now let's talk more about that.
Well, so recently I've been doing a lot of stuff with my business, doing a lot of promotions. A lot of it is online sales. So, I've been
Okay.
picking that up with the clothing, and spread shop has been going great. And yeah, I just recently started getting into this real estate stuff because I realized it was easier than I thought. Uh, because with music as well, you always want to be a sponge of everything. That's what I was saying the last time. You always want to be a sponge of information, so don't just limit yourself to just one thing. So
Mm.
when I started, I always look up things too. So for me, I always wanted to you know what this meant, or I'm always trying to find out the money or whatever the case is. So I got into the real estate thing just probably a couple of months ago, just kind of searching kind of what it was about and how you kind of put some stuff up and kind of go ahead and move that way. And I found it really easy. Just doing a lot of research and a lot of reading. You got to read a lot. So it's reading and putting your money where the mouth is. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, I've been starting that up, and then yeah, so all of that is just really a big old work in progress with the business and the extra ventures, because you need that at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, because you could always support yourself and your family and the ones around you. You always want to know stuff. So for me, yeah, I was like, instead of me just doing podcasting or just music, I want to tap into, real world money making things. So, I'm like, okay, I have my business already. So I wanted to connect it to, you know, all this other stuff. So every time I move, my business moves with me. So,
Right.
it's nowhere that One Throne Productions LLC isn't going. So that was really the point. And I feel like tonight I'm actually going to be celebrating. So I'm going to be
Oh,
doing
that's
that
good.
tonight. Yeah, I'm like, got a big break coming tonight. So I'm excited. I'm about to go party. Not really, but you know what I mean. But
Yeah,
it's been an exciting time with that alone. So, uh, yeah, just doing a lot of searching and a lot of it's always putting your money up. Always put your money up and make it work
mm-hmm.
for you. Invest into something that will make money back. So it doesn't matter
Yeah,
what it is. It's always about doing that. So don't tell everybody. Do it on the sidelines, and then you
right.
pop out, and you never know. So that's kind of a little money thing I've been on. It's been working out really well. I've been really trying to grow that net worth thing for a while, and just seeing
Mhm.
something like that is amazing. So,
Yeah,
um, like, just it's unbelievable, to be honest.
yeah, and
It's
I'm so
crazy.
proud of you. I mean, this is I knew it from the start, right? When we were talking, when the first interview, and then the second, and now our third interview, and we're going to continue on with this to keep up with the chronicles. This is your chronicles. So,
Thank you.
with yeah, with that being said, let's dive into it. Okay. So last time we spoke, right, and I notated this. I know that we talked about mental health, right? And
Hmm.
substance abuse, like in the music, during your music journey with, like, I guess, artists that have experienced it, and you seeing artists experience the conundrum that they run into due
Yeah.
to substance abuse and whatnot. And I mean, it doesn't even have to be substance; it could be anything, any vice, really. Um,
Yeah.
so, and you mentioned one of the artists, I believe his name was Montana of 300.
Yeah.
How he stayed focused, and he read a lot, and he doesn't do anything of the, like, substance, like alcohol, what have you. And have you ever picked his brain as to why that, how he overcame that, or like just you know went through his journey, because
Hmm.
you touched on it on our last episode, so I was
Yeah,
just
Montana's
wondering.
my guy. We talk every once in a while when we get the chance. It's always good. He's actually gonna be here, I believe, like Friday at the Roxy doing a show. So hopefully, I'll get a chance to see him before. But uh, just seeing what he was going through, he was telling me that because of everything else that was going on around him, and the people around him was selling stuff, all types of stuff. that he didn't want to infect people with the same stuff that he was doing. So, or his mom was going through. So it was just like, for him, he chose to stay away from that. And like I said, it's completely amazing because folks have crazy, and it seems like you know he might need a little something to calm himself down because bro get mad. But you know you would think I'm like, can you slow down and smoke something or something? He doesn't. And when I first met him, with Don D, my homie Don D and stuff, when he came down from the airport, he was just telling me about that kind of stuff. And it's crazy because I look, it's something to look up to because he's made it in life.
Right.
You can easily, there's pretty much no no question about his rapping abilities and everything else. Plenty of people know who he is. And just for him doing that stuff and seeing where he came from, and his journey and his chronicles, it was just like, wow, like even though it's not the story for everybody, it's really inspirational. And I think more
Mhm.
people need to take heed to that. Like, okay, you can do your thing and don't have to settle for hard drugs and liquor all day. I've been one of them people that was partying. I used to throw parties. But it was just coming to a point where, okay, you could chill by yourself, you could do other things, and direct your time and surround yourself with different people. um and so that was one thing that I seen Montana do. I've seen Bo Deal. He great example. I couldn't believe, bro.
Mhm.
He's I think, I'm not gonna misquote, I think he's in his 50s now, a little bit over that. And plenty of people, if they from Chicago, you know who Bo Deal is.
Mhm.
And he's an OG Vice Lord. He was a mob member back in the day, and actually just this year he had graduated from college,
Oh wow.
and he went back for his master's, and he owns a cupcake shop now. So he took all of that rapping and everything that he was doing, all that stuff, and look at him now. And
Wow.
it was just unbelievable to me. I'm like, wow, Bo Deal, the man did it. You know what I mean? And it's the same people that you don't think can do it. When when
Right.
people have doubt, even within yourself, when you have doubt, like you can't do it. I know
Mhm.
some examples that I've seen people make it. So I'm
Mhm.
like, man, I've seen from Waka Flocka, when he came down here, when he
Right.
was first started, he was doing a lot of jail and a lot of stuff. And Bo, he did years in, I think 18,
Wow.
but look at him. Look at him. You know what I mean? He's chilling
Right.
on jet skis. He's on the back grilling. He's with his family. He's with his
Yeah.
daughters. He owns stuff. And so I really look at certain characters for inspiration, and I want to pay attention to the ones that are on top of the game. So that's really where it comes from. So when I brought up Montana, he's just one of the great examples of overcoming a struggle, no matter what,
Right.
and still doing your thing to come up on top, no matter what. So I think
Mm.
if more people take heed of those type of people, or a leadership kind of
Mhm.
deal, um, and it takes more people to say something. I don't think a lot of people can say anything anymore. It's a cancel culture now. So if you speak
Mm.
against certain things, or if you say something that somebody doesn't like, it's a whole thing about it. So I believe we need more people to say stuff and come out and tell the truth and say what needs to be said,
Right.
and uplift as we're doing that. So I pay attention to the older guys, and some great examples like that. So shout out to Montana, shout out to Don, shout out to
Mhm.
Bo, all the good,
Mhm.
great Chicago leaders and everybody, because they got voices.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't get to use them. So when you get a chance
Mhm.
to use it for the better. So
Mm.
Yeah, I feel like they're great examples, especially Montana.
I love it. I
Great
love
example.
it. Yeah, definitely speaking out more. It's difficult because you want to stay true to you, right? And you don't
Yeah,
want to, I mean, act or have to be somebody else in order to feel accepted or in order to portray someone you're not because it's exhausting. I mean, I don't know. For me,
yeah.
you know, it is what it is. You come here to
Hmm.
the show, and I'm gonna. Some art. One of the artists was like, "Oh gosh, I'm being roasted today." I was like, "All in good fun."
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
he was
a
he was
roast session
kidding.
is needed. It's classic. You gotta have a roast session. Like, hey, your hair is off today. Like, look, you got a sweat stain on the corner of your eyebrow. Like, you gotta do something, man. I get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so true. So, with that being said, right, we're gonna dive into the music industry. I know that we talked a little bit on the sidebar about it.
Mhm.
How do you navigate through, the music industry?
Uh, Staying away from a lot of it, to be honest. As you know, for me, I don't really always stay on social media. I literally only use it to promote what I'm doing. I don't really promote anything else. So when I'm on, it's really just with anybody in the music industry, you want to, like I said, surround yourself with the best people that are going to tell you the best things, and
Mhm.
also searching and learning things on your own. So if somebody doesn't tell you something or you don't know something, you got to kind of look for it on your own, because people gatekeep. You're not always going to know all the answers. So
Mhm.
one way for me is just staying out of a lot of the stuff.
Mhm.
There's a lot of drama in the music industry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of funny stuff that goes on. So it's just being true to yourself, staying grounded, and knowing what you're worth, and not letting somebody
Yeah.
tell you when you can put something out or when you can do something. And that's the great thing about being independent.
Mhm.
Not bashing any labels, but it's just you're if you're creating it and it's solely yours, you should own every right to it. You should be able to move freely how you want with it.
Mhm.
Put it out when you want
Right.
to. If I'm at home in my underwear and I want to put out a song at 3 a.m., I should be able to without a label saying, "Oh, well, you got to wait 2 weeks and get it cleared by whoever or whatever." I'm like, I never
Right.
went through that. I never went through that. So you
Mm.
know, it's really just staying grounded and just focusing on yourself and not other people.
Right.
Um, because that I feel like is one of the things that's really wrong with today is
Mhm.
we pay attention so much to other people,
Mhm.
that everybody, because that's why it's a thing to get followers. More people are followers now instead of having a
Mhm.
leading voice. So if you're sitting there on YouTube watching this person, Mr. Beaston or whatever the case is, you know why aren't you making a video? You sitting there watching somebody
Right.
else, like
Right.
so like I feel like, if you pay attention to yourself, now use inspiration from others, and
Mhm.
tap into other things. But I feel like just staying to yourself and working on what you got going on is one of the ways that I navigate through it, and just knowing who to connect with as well.
Mm.
So you can't connect with everybody because not everybody's going to be on the same page with things. There might be schedules, there might be different stuff going on. So
Yeah.
it's just knowing who you're dealing with too. So
Mm.
and I don't deal with many, so I feel like that's one of the easiest ways you can navigate through here. It's just really staying to yourself and knowing what your
Mhm.
goal is, knowing what you're doing.
That's so true. Um, and I think that's for the most part with life, right? I mean, just in general. uh, staying true to yourself, and because you can get lost in the sauce for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. We all do it. Everybody does it. You know what I mean? And that's just one thing that I feel like people got to work on is just self control with things. It's out of control now. So I feel like having self control, not needing so much. Um,
Right.
you know, the
That's
need
true.
for views and exposure, the need for whatever the case is. People push through that too much, and so like I said, you shouldn't worry about it. At the end of the day, if it's gonna come, it's gonna come. If it doesn't, then you need to still work. That's all it means.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's just crazy how like things go. So I feel like if there was more of a structure of
Mm-hmm.
what people are saying or whatever the case is, like there's no structure anymore. There's no leadership with stuff. So you really got to do
Yeah.
it on your own and pay attention.
Yeah.
You really got to do
That's
it.
true. It brings the whole numbers schematic. I get it, but then I don't get it. So I get it in a sense of metrics, and they utilize numbers in business, period.
Oh yeah.
But there's always a but, right?
Hmm.
But my I guess heartburn is that numbers don't show the quality, right? So say for instance you have a person with um 1,300 followers, right? But
Hmm.
they're quality followers and they're real followers and they're not like bots or they're not like these made up people,
Right.
because people can unfortunately juice the system
Yeah.
or inflate
Absolutely.
or whatever the case may be. um i'm
Mm.
I'm about authenticity, and I that's just me. I don't, people ask me, hey, want some followers? I'm like, no. I mean, if you follow me, you follow me. I'm not gonna
Right.
sit here and cry about it if you don't.
Right.
But I just
Yeah. It's like that.
but the quality, and I think a lot of times, when you go with the trend or you go with something of that sort just to keep up with the numbers, you lose focus on why you even started a podcast, or why you even started singing, or just like the core of why you even started something. Like, why do
Yeah.
something if you're not authentic about it? I don't know. This is
Yeah. Um. And that's the thing. And actually, authenticity is a problem now because you get rappers that will get on and there are people that are worried about people's authenticity.
mm,
You know, you get people that you know people are mesmerized and glorify murder. Uh, so it's like you can
mm,
get somebody like I don't know, rapper Joe Smo from over here talking about he's done all of this stuff and then killed people and all of that, but that's not really the case. When dude went to school 2, 3 blocks down and it's a nice neighborhood and never been through that. So
mm,
authenticity can be challenged now. It's a
yeah,
challenge. It's a thing to be authentic because it's easy to fake something.
yeah,
So yeah, it's more than ever easy. So that was my thing about, when I want to put out anything, I want it to be authentic. I want it to be of quality. And that's why I take a long time because
yeah,
I'm not just gonna put whatever out and then just throw it out there. You want it to be authentic and you know, you don't worry about the numbers. They'll come when they come, like you don't,
yeah.
that's one thing I think people too worried about. I don't care if one person see it. I don't care if two people see it or 300 million people see it, it doesn't matter. Like, if 300 million people see it, great. I mean, whatever. But it's not going to change anything. It's just
Right.
um, being comfortable with doing what you're doing, no matter who's seeing it, who doesn't appreciate it, who appreciates it. It's just about being comfortable. So I think with that authenticity thing, I feel like a lot of people aren't comfortable with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They're not okay with just putting it out and being happy with doing the music. They're
Mm-hmm.
worried about what somebody's gonna see, what somebody's gonna say, how many people are gonna see it. So I feel like you take that out and you just worry about the music and the craft alone, it'll show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Somebody will pick it up. So you know that's really what the issue is I feel like it's just worrying too much. There's a lot of worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so true. We can continue with this, but I guess my notion of authenticity is if say I mean you made some great points about you can fake the authenticity
Oh
or
yeah.
you can actually be real about it, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I just feel some sort of way about how people go about their business because like you can sell a product or a service and say, oh, I'm the greatest and the best singer or whatever.
Mhm.
Cake uh maker, pastry maker, whatever, baker.
Right.
Uh but then you go to buy the product and you eat it or you test it out and it's crap. Excuse my French.
Right. It's totally different from what they
It's
advertise.
right,
Yeah.
but these people are making billions from selling their services and products, and you being the I guess hole in the wall baker, like say for instance, as opposed
Mhm.
to one that's manufactured. You know,
Right.
unfortunately, yeah, your quality is the better than the one that's manufactured, but they got the resources to scale their business so that it can sell billions of cupcakes or cakes or whatever, you
Right.
know what I
They
mean?
got the
So
money in the
that's
PR.
the
Yeah.
yeah, that's the downside of things because it's kind of like you bought the cupcake, you can't really return because you ate it,
Yeah.
or whatever you purchased
Yeah.
it. But
You split
anyway,
it in half and you took a bite. Yeah. Yeah, that's what it
that's my
is. That's
that's
what it
my
is.
soapbox about.
Uh-huh.
So
So
I oh go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say back to the music industry, right?
Mhm.
On a music artist's progression in the music industry, even as an independent artist. What are your experiences being an independent artist and progressing in the music industry, and how do you maneuver or progress in it?
So a lot of my progress, really, like I said, was just making sure what I was putting out, I was taking time on.
Okay.
Um, so whether it was writing or making sure the beat was right or whatever the case was. So it was a lot of perfection going on, and like meeting more people, doing a lot of research on things I'm trying to do with my songs, you know, blog posts or other things like that. So it was a lot of searching, a lot of searching, and really it was just like I said, staying true to myself. Like I didn't need to sound like the next person. I didn't need to do this or that. No, I could use influences, but I don't need to, you got to make it your own kind of thing. So it was really taking time doing that. And the more I started understanding that more and putting out more stuff, the more comfortable I got with what I was making. So, it got easier and I got more comfortable with, okay, now I got this R&B track. Now I know how to make R&B now. I know what I'm doing now. So I'm comfortable
Right.
with this track. I'm not comfortable with this track over here. So
Right.
it's just yeah, it's just a lot of tweaking and scaling on. And then, like I said, just building the relationships and reaching out to
Mm-hmm.
major platforms, things that matter, and people that matter. So especially with a lot of small time collaborators, they need people too. So
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of reaching out,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of talks going on, and that's really what was the fuel to it. So it was just
Okay.
a lot of consistency with that. And so when the obstacles started showing up, where I'd get writer's block, or I'd be busy with other things. It's just about having that time to sit down and be like, okay, I want to work on this. You got to take time for yourself to sit down and collect your own thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I can't do all of that because I'm running around doing stuff, or whatever the case is. So it's really just making time for that. And so that's what I did. So that helped me move around a lot of obstacles, even though they always come. um that's just how I move around stuff, and I've been able to keep up throughout the years with that. So really it's just one big old work in progress that I'm
Yeah.
picking at and doing slow things with. So when I'm ready, it's quality, it's great, and I'm putting it out.
Mm. I'm
So
glad
yeah.
you mentioned cultivating relationships, right? Have you
Mm.
ever burned any bridges? And
Oh, plenty,
yeah.
plenty. Honestly, you know, uh, a lot of people burn bridges with me. I don't even really
Hmm.
be like dealing with a lot of people, but um, it's fine. It doesn't stop anything. Actually, a
Right,
bridge
right,
got burned a couple weeks ago. I'm not even worried about it because, like I said, if you know where you're headed and you know what you're doing, somebody can leave. They didn't need to be around.
right,
Um, So I don't really care about burning no bridge because I'm gonna build my own,
right.
So, you know, uh, it's happened a lot. I've lost a lot of friends, a lot of family, especially
Mhm.
this year alone. I went through a lot of stuff. But you know, I'm not letting any of that matter. I'm gonna keep going on with what I got going on, and
Right.
let them be a viewer. Just that's all they can do is be a viewer.
Yeah.
So, it's happened a lot throughout my life. Uh, it happens with everybody. Everybody falls out with people, and you
Hmm.
lose relationships, especially some things that are important. When I was starting up my music stuff and starting up my record label and stuff, I actually had a friend that was with me, and it turned into some other stuff that that was really almost unrelated to this music stuff. We ended up not being friends over it, and I'm not worried about it. I'm still doing my thing. I don't even know where to do that, but you know
Yeah.
I'm just like yeah, especially within this industry, you're gonna end up being lonely a lot. You're gonna be by yourself a lot,
Yeah.
because as they say, the top gets it's a
Right.
lonely road. So
So true.
it's
That's
nothing new
true.
when you lose somebody that didn't matter in the first place.
Yeah.
It's not gonna stop nothing. So yeah, I've
That's so
broken a
true.
lot, but it's all good.
Yeah, it's all good. On
Like,
to, yeah, on to the next thing, right?
mhm.
So how do you embrace your musical diversity? Because I know you like you play so many different instruments, you're in movies, you're in just so many things. How do you embrace it? And then is there like a specific genre that you like gravitate to?
Um, so I embrace all types of music. I embrace music, period. So like I love all types. It doesn't really matter. For my genre, when I was doing a lot of folk music and I was playing a lot of the guitar, I did a lot of study behind it. So for
Mhm.
me, it was one of the first things I respected was the folk music genre.
Mhm.
Just noticing that a lot of artists in that genre, uh, go through a lot of stuff and have passed away.
Mhm.
And for the simplicity of it being just a guitar and a voice, and using your fingers to finger pick, instead of
Yeah.
using a pick and having a full band behind you,
Yeah.
uh, all of that, I really respected that. So that was one of the first things I gravitated towards was folk music. So that's why I started
Mhm.
making it, and that was my first like projects I was putting out. I was on the guitar, and
Right.
so uh, just listening to a lot of R&B and just the structure of it and how the instruments and everything's put together. Uh, I was moved by a lot of artists like Seal. I listened to a lot
Mhm.
of Seal and you know Kelly, all types of people,
Uh-huh.
um, and just the whole structure of that and how it's created. I really enjoyed.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? I feel like I can do that too. Let's hop in. So um, that was really what it was, and so I started working on my delivery, how I'm singing, the pitches, and the breaks in the beats. And so it was still studying, but yeah, that's really what it was. Just a lot of studying. That's what you got to do. You got to study your craft. So I studied the folk music, and then I started studying the R&B.
Your music through folk music, I guess that genre. Um,
Yeah.
how did you, speaking about business and everything, how did you master the art of self promotion? That's what I
Um,
want to know. And building your personal brand.
okay. Well, like I said, a lot of it is you know, learning, self-searching, like what is a PR firm? What do PRs do? What is SEO? Stuff like that. So I took a lot of just searching on what some of that stuff was, and I applied it. So when I put out a release or I'm doing something like with a show or whatever, um, it was just finding the mass people that were in a group.
Mhm.
Whether if it was on a website, Facebook group, or whatever
Mm,
the case was, and
mm,
then making sure that one of those people picked up one of my posts or projects, and then they did that and promoted
mhm,
it, and then they promoted it. Um, so that's kind of how it worked. But a lot of it, yeah, like I do my own promotion. So like I go around and I'll look up the companies that are in my field or websites or outlets that are in my field, and I'll go hit them up.
mhm,
I'll present my stuff to them, and we'll get a thing going. Sometimes it's nothing, sometimes it is, and that's really what it is. So, and it was really doing it without spending pretty much any money for self promotion.
oh,
So,
wow. Yeah.
a lot of this was really like just searching and connecting with the right people. That's what you have to
Mhm.
do, and you gotta learn. You gotta get out there and get on Google and know what some of this stuff is. You gotta search it on your own because nobody's gonna tell you. So
That's so true. And
there's no
nobody's
school
going to
for
tell you.
PR. So you know what I mean. You gotta kind of figure out something on your own.
Right?
Because unless you have a label that you already signed to do it for you, you gotta
Mm,
you gotta do it on your own. So it's really just um knowing what you're searching for, knowing what you want. Um
mm.
so that's kind of how I did it, and that's how I keep doing it. So uh
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's just finding the right outlets that will um be okay with picking up your stuff, um and knowing who to deal with, because everybody's
Mhm.
requirements is different,
Right.
whatever the case is. So or just knowing who you're dealing with and doing that
Mhm.
searching on your own. You can
Okay.
promote yourself. Hmm.
That is so true. So, um, how do you focus on your business, music, and everything, and your personal strengths all at the same time?
It's hard. Because like I noticed this the other day. I'm like, because I was literally talking about like, yo, I could create like, how you know what a stick is, like a backwood, like, right.
Right?
So like, you know, I was thinking, there's probably wholesale companies that sell these leaves, and I could like
Mm,
create my own flavor. And I was just on some stuff yesterday. I was like, yo, like, what if I sold my own sticks or whatever? And like, and all everybody would buy that. Like, who wouldn't buy that?
right.
So, it's really just I don't know. Like, I think of a lot of stuff. I always want
Right.
to. I
Yeah.
always want to like create something or make something. So it was just kind of one of those things. Just kind of popped up, and it was just like, okay, now I'm thinking about this. I think I could do this. uh
Right.
like I said, it's just not limiting yourself. Like, like, you've seen it been done. It's possible. You could do it
Mm.
too.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I'm looking at this Tabasco bottle right now. They're saying there's three ingredients in this Tabasco bottle:
right?
it's distilled vinegar, red pepper, and salt. And you telling me all you got to do is leave some red pepper, vinegar, and salt in a barrel for like a year or two, and you got hot sauce? And then you
Yeah.
got another
Basically,
thing. Yeah, I got hot sauce on my table. This is one thing that people don't know. I keep hot sauce on my table. I don't know why,
me too.
but you do. It's literally on
Yeah.
my nightstand right
I
now. I
have.
gotta. Wow,
I have a whole
wow.
bunch. I have the
We're caught.
Tabasco too. We need to be
We're
sponsored
caught.
by these hot sauce companies,
Yeah, I'm see. This is free promotion. Tabasco, Mick Henny
right?
Company, and Crystal, Louisiana's Pure. They better owe me a couple of dollars.
Right?
Um. So with this one, it says aged red cayenne peppers, distilled vinegar, and salt. So pretty much, it takes three ingredients to make hot sauce. I want to make my own hot
Right.
sauce. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what if it wouldn't take nothing to go, hit up a company that sells glass bottles, bottle your own hot sauce, and slap a label on
Oh,
it. It's that easy. But you're in the store paying $4 or $5 for a thing of hot sauce that you could have made.
yeah. It's
So
so true.
you know. So I'm always kind of thinking like that. I guess I'm kind of extreme, but you know, that's kind of what it is.
Not when it's inflation,
Let's not get started. It's inflation and shrinkflation at once. It's both.
right?
It's both.
Oh my gosh. My son, he
Yeah.
sent me this reel about I think it was Whoopi Goldberg and how she was saying, like Generation X and so on, you guys just need to work harder. And it was a good it was a good reel because the guy was talking about, well, let me go ahead and do a calculation for you, Whoopi. And so he was, I
Hmm.
love Whoopi Goldberg, by the way. So but he was like, he's a numbers guy. I guess he was doing numbers and stats on like the social media web and like a whole bunch of different things. And he said that like Generation X and on, like we had it harder because the cost of living. I mean, obviously, the mortgage or the rent is I think 13% higher or something since back in the baby boomer era. So there was like a calculation that he went
Right.
through, but it was really interesting,
Hmm.
seeing that. Yeah, and I can. So I guess my next question is for your strengths, right? Uh, if I was to say, hey, Xavier, could you help me with something? I don't know what your strengths are, but can you like list three top strengths that you have, and can you help me out? What would they be?
I would say resilience. For me,
Mhm.
like I'm not gonna stop until I know that I've done something uh that
Mhm.
I wanted to do. So I
Uh-huh.
think that's one thing that I have. And just courage, I would say, to keep going. Uh
Okay.
so yeah, because there was a lot of things that I could have let hinder me, but I didn't.
Mm.
So I would say that.
Okay. Well, now we know that you like hot sauce. See, if you didn't come to NNO 360, you wouldn't know that Xavier Whitley likes hot sauce and particularly Tabasco. And what was that Louisiana one? Is that the other one?
Yeah, so now this one I only got because it was at Dollar Tree, so it was dollar twenty
Oh, yeah.
five. You know what I mean? But I like Frank's, so y'all know it's Tabasco and Frank's. If it's not one of those two, move out of here. It's not no hot sauce.
Tabasco Franks. And what do you put it
Mhm.
on? Like everything? Or like is there like a
Yeah.
specific snack or you know?
Uh, yeah. Usually, because one of my favorite foods is mac and
Mhm.
cheese, so I'll dab a whole bunch of that in some mac and cheese. I'll put it on some
Oh,
chicken. I'll put it on some ribs. I'll put it inside barbecue sauce and use it as a spicy barbecue sauce. I'll put it in a
uh-huh.
beer. I'll put it in whatever.
Okay.
I'll lick it off my
Well,
fingers. You know what I mean? I'll dab it
uh,
right now.
I love I love
Yeah,
I love hot sauce too. I like it with
it's good.
popcorn and I like it with pickles majority of the time. And so like
It's
on
good.
eggs. I like it on eggs.
Yeah, it's good on eggs too. I don't get the
So
whole ketchup on eggs thing. I think that's nasty personally, but I'm like, throw some
really?
Tabasco. All you need is a little drop of Tabasco on the eggs. Don't mess it up with some ketchup. Mm-mm. I mean, I
Oh
used
man.
to, but like, yeah, I got that got old. So yeah.
So talk about like what's next because I know you had a photo shoot and there was something going on with the R&B. Oh, can you talk about it or can you hint around with what's going on? I don't want you to
So
get in trouble, but
so yeah, so really it was I got a couple of performances coming up. It's gonna be a fashion show on August 18th in
uh-huh.
Denver at the Vibe House in Denver. And on the 24th I'll be doing a performance for I think it's Civic Center Park, I think, in Denver. I gotta reread the thing, but yeah. And then that's August 24th, and that's sponsored by Bird Ball. So I mean, there's a whole lot of chicken sandwiches and pickles going on. Um, you know what I mean? So it's pickles and R&B day that day, and yeah, as far as the R&B, the album projects are coming up. I got a couple of collaborations. L Money, she's gonna be coming on. She's another artist out in Denver. Shout out to her. She's been doing her
Mhm.
thing, and so we got a track coming. Uh, and then yeah, just a lot of behind the scenes work for now until I put out the rest of this album. It's just a lot of behind the scenes and a couple performances going on.
I love it. I love it. Make sure that you tag me on these so I can post it as well.
Okay,
And
I got.
yeah, so we're gonna be doing this like we say a monthly thing, but depending on our schedules, we want to continue on with the Chronicles of Xavier Whitley. Um,
All
yeah, so anyway, like is there anything that else that you would like to tell the audience and any advice or tips for business, I guess, business owners as well? I mean, because you're a business owner. I mean, you obviously
right.
1.9 million, that's nothing to sneeze about.
Okay. Well, I will say this. Always, always, always search. Put up your money, invest, and don't get down on yourself. Know that it's possible that you can do it. It can take time. It's not going to be overnight, but
Right.
you can make it if you really want. You just got to put it up. Make it work for you. Don't work for it.
That's right.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for that, sir. And make sure to follow Mr. Exzavier Whitley and NNO 360. Please subscribe to view all of our episodes at NNO 360. We're on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, I think Google Play. There's just so many.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Y'all better
Instagram,
hit the button.
Facebook,
Hmm.
Twitter.
Hit that
And
button,
don't
y'all.
forget, right? Don't forget to
Hmm.
comment and like all of our episodes. And not only that, just share some of his items too on his Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. We all need love, right? We just, that's
All day.
why we're here at NNO 360.
All day.
Let's let's continue to support the Unity for Social Justice, and let's free Monster Yo and others that need our support. This has been a broadcast of Showing Love full circle between NNO 360 and Mr. Exzavier Whitley. Until next